back to episode 12 of the Over the Shoulder podcast. Today we're going over the WWF Hogan 86. And of course, today our co host, KOL Fan93, Casey, one of the admins of Belt Addicts Anonymous. Casey, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What is going on, you guys? It's KOL Fan93 back here for the first time on the Over the Shoulder podcast. And I'm here with Rob and Max, and we're going to do some stuff, and we're going to say some things, and we're going to have a time. So sit back and enjoy the ride.
No, I'm very happy to have you here, Casey. Fellow admin, of course, of Belt Addicts Anonymous, co-founder of Belt Addicts Anonymous, to bring this special episode. I've been really wanting to do this episode, and Max can attest to it, for a really long time because, I am definitely a Figs Inc. belt collector, and the Hogan 86 is on one of my top lists. And to tell you the truth, the reason why I acquired Hogan 86 was because of your famous unboxing back a few years ago, where you unbox that bad boy when you got it from Canada. So very, very excited to be doing this for the Belt Addicts Anonymous universe. Very happy to have our second co-host here on the Over the Shoulder podcast, none other than, KOFan93, a fellow belt collector, a guy who knows what he's talking about, who's been collecting for since 2002, 2003, Casey?
2003, yeah. 2003.
Yeah. So we're really happy to be bringing this special episode to you, the Hogan 86, one of the rarer replica belts out there. A lot of history that's attached to this belt, and we're really excited to be going through this with you guys. So
yeah, definitely. And Rob, do you want to lead this episode?
I've got no issue now. In case you can back me up on some of the history too, if you want here. I'm familiarized myself a little bit with this history, but yeah, definitely, I've got no issue here.
All right, I'm all in.
So, that's when Hulk was younger, guys. He's definitely packed on some years. But that Hogan 86 belt, the one on, when I look at the one on the right, that definitely has got a different shade of color, obviously been more ring used. What do you guys think of it?
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, you're calling it straight from the head right there. Ring used, you can tell that it's worn down, but I also feel like that one gives a better look at the dual plating with the nickel. I feel like over time, as that one got older and more ring used, it started to look better. I don't know why it did that, but you can't deny it. You see it right there. The details just pop that much more.
Yeah, and I agree. And with the history of this belt, with Hogan wearing it back in '86, and of course, with the WWF at that time, making the famous Andre 87, for WrestleMania 3, and having Andre the Giant potentially actually beat Hogan and then take over the Andre 87 belt. And I know it didn't happen, and Hogan was only going to be wearing that Hogan 86 for a small amount of time up until that time, and then ended up wearing it the whole year, pretty much in 1987. All the way up until February 1988, when they did debut the Winged Eagle belt. The belt is just absolutely amazing, and it was actually really, iconic. Well, when I was watching the first Royal Rumble episode that was the pay-per-view that was done in Hamilton, Ontario, back in the day. And he was sporting this, and there was the big feud between him and Andre the Giant. And that belt, I look at my replica and I look at that belt, man, almost spot on. Pretty much there. It is there. But showing what type of belt that is just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. What do you guys think of, some of the history with respect to this belt? Like, what do you guys think about it?
Like you guys were saying, I love the dual plating. I'm a sucker for dual plated belts. Of course, my favorite version of the Winged Eagle is the WrestleMania 4 version, dual plated version. I love the dual plated classic tags. Anything dual plated, I love. And this belt, I just, like you guys said, it stands out. The detail there, the floral patterns, the little old Roman, I don't even know what they're called, but I just love it. Everything about it stands out. Love the blue globe, just pops out at you. Yeah, and I think like Casey was saying, once it was more ring used, it did look better in my opinion. I think some belts look better, more beat up than pristine. Maybe even like the classic IC in my opinion. I love when it's all beat up, like the brassoed Macho Man IC. I love that version. So
Yeah.
definitely have to agree with you guys. Beautiful belt.
Yeah, and I mean even that version, that's that's definitely got some ring used in it. What do you think about it, Casey?
God, nothing screams the freaking 80s
I
like
know,
this.
I know, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No, I'm sorry. Aside from the hilarious, stereotypical 1980s Hogan get up there, there's just something about the simplicity of that one. I mean, look at that compared to what they're sporting nowadays, like the network logo, which is just this huge hunk of metal. It's just a giant cookie cutter. So, I mean, you've got, like, you referenced it a while ago with the Roman columns and all that stuff on the side, the olive branches. It's got all the aspects of things that you would look at sort of for like an Olympian. So they still treated it like tradition. And I don't know. There's just, I've always said that the Hogan 86 was the perfect world title, and I stand by that.
yeah, I definitely agree about it. I mean, I love the Winged Eagle. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a very, very big Winged Eagle fan, but you're right. The simplicity with respect to this belt is just absolutely incredible. And the way that it defines other countries around the world, even compared over, to the 1987 belt. And in previous episodes, when Max and I were talking about certain championship belts, does it really scream world championship belt? Is it a real world title? This is definitely screams world title. It represents the countries around the world. Not every country around the world, maybe the most important countries, who knows? But it does represent countries around the world, which I think is definitely screams world championship belts. You're right, though, Casey. With respect to the network logos, I mean, they're just a hunk of metal. That's exactly what they are. They're not made like what they are here.
And I definitely have to agree. Like Rob was saying, I was going to mention that that's one thing that I do love about this belt: the flags, and the Andre 87 carries that similar design. That's one thing that I definitely love. It just, for a world title, it's exactly what it should be: world championship, and you see the flags from all around the world. To me, I prefer the Winged Eagle, but it's not a better world championship. To me, the Winged Eagle is a better WWF championship. There's WWF on every single plate, the logo plate, on the main plate. Everyone says WWF champion. That's a WWF title. This is the world title. To me, it's different, Similar to now, like the WWE Network title, that's WWE title, not the world title. And you can see there some of the classic belts that Hogan held.
Yeah, and I mean the one below, the Hogan 85 belt. I mean that's an okay belt. I'm not a real big fan of the Hogan 85. I mean, for me, I know we're talking about the Hogan 86 here, gentlemen, but a lot of silver I find on that belt. I do love dual plating. I mean, I absolutely do. I mean, even with classic WWF dual tag, and then my Andre 87, of course, but dual plating just, it looks a lot better. I mean, it does tarnish a little bit easier if it's reacting with moisture. But I mean, the titles, since we're talking about Hogan 86, the one on his left shoulder has a little bit more gold than the one on his right shoulder. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting. I have no idea, but I can tell here that there is a little bit more on one of his shoulders than the other. What do you guys think of both these belts?
Like you were saying with the gold plating, I think the one on the left is more like maybe tarnished, maybe more of a reused version. It looks like the gold is faded. I mean, it's still there on the same place. It just seems like a very pale gold in comparison to the very yellow gold on the right. Casey, what do you think?
Yeah.
You see, I was thinking something along the same lines of what Max just said there. You can tell how it's faded. It looks like it was more of that dual two-tone from the nickel fading down to where it's got it almost looking more like a light bronze kind of, versus as the one on his other shoulder there, that gold still sticking out. Just, I mean, you can tell that's gold from a mile away. But on the other one, I definitely think it has something to do with the two-tone plating.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, well, you guys mentioned it. I think that's exactly what it is. And then, of course, in his right hand, I mean, you've got the Thunder Lips belt, but whatever. Yeah, no, I like. I mean, yeah, I mean, I like the one on his right shoulder. Obviously, it's a little bit better, but yeah, I mean, the left one probably is had some fading on that. So, other than that, I mean, they're good belts.
And I forgot to mention you were talking about the Hogan 85. I never really liked it. I mean, for a
No.
world title, it never screamed world title to me. Like you said, an all silver gold title for the world title it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, when someone wins, they win the gold, not the silver. It just dual plated makes sense, but silver just doesn't scream world champion to me, and it just reminds me of the NWA television title. So, not for me.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Hogan 85, I'd rather have the Hogan 84. That would have been a little bit better. That screams a little bit more a world title to me. But
Or
I
even
think
the mystery belt with this picture in the middle.
exactly it. I think that they lost the thing with the Hogan 85, and Vince, I know, did not like that belt because it was too silver, so they went to the Hogan 86. I mean, love the Hogan 86 belt, obviously. And I'm glad he actually got to carry it a lot longer. I mean, too bad the Andre didn't get used, but still a good belt. They're still good.
Yeah, I believe this is a picture from Hulk Hogan's Beach Shop. This is a real obviously ring used version, and like you were talking about the paler gold, you can tell it's like very faded gold. You can barely tell it's dual plated. It's almost becoming a silver or like a light bronze, like Casey was saying. You can see the paint on the globes is chipping a bit, same as the red on the Canada flag, but just it's an incredible picture. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and I mean, sorry, I mean, there's a few things about this belt. I mean, I definitely like the cut. Okay, I mean, we talk about leather. I mean, the cut on the Hogan 86 is a unique cut. I mean, I haven't seen that cut really the way that it has looked on some of the other belts. On this belt here, he's got Hogan on his main plate that he signed. I mean, I feel like he's already ruined the belt. But anyways, isn't he charging, guys? And forgive me if I'm wrong. I heard a rumor here that could you buy this belt? It was like $65K or something like that. I don't know. I heard there was some sort of rumor that the Beach Shop there. I don't know. Like is this in his personal collection? But there was one at the Beach Shop that he was like it was $65,000 or something.
I think I'm not sure about this one. I feel like he wouldn't. I feel like if he was selling the real version, it would have already sold to like Conan or someone like that.
Probably.
Well, Conrad, sorry. Conrad would have it. He has every belt. But I believe he had a shop belt that he signed and he was selling for like $3,000, something like that. Like a stock shop belt or something like that. Something ridiculous. Because I wouldn't pay that much for Hogan's signature. Sorry, I just
no, and plus, I mean, with this belt, he's already ruined the main plate anyway. Because who the fuck wants his Hogan signature right on the flipping globe? I mean, give me a break here. I mean, I love his signature.
Stop belt abuse. Stop belt abuse, ladies and gentlemen.
Seriously, that's exactly
a problem.
That's
egotistical Hogan. It's his belt, and he has to put his name on it again. Like, come on.
No, and it just goes out to all the other collectors here, ladies and gentlemen. The people who get their belts signed by some of these guys. Why get them to sign the fucking plates? Okay, don't get them to sign the plates. It's the stupidest shit there is, and you guys can go and you guys can attest to that. Go for it, Casey.
Yeah, no.
Man, I'm going to say, okay, take this thing for example. This huge hunk of jewel in, well, it's not metal because it's a commemorative, but you know what I mean. You get the picture. You think Ted DiBiase's just going to take a Sharpie and go, oh, I think I'm going to go ahead and just put a big old black mark right across this thing. Everyone has the price. Oh, and it just looks completely stupid and ruined. No, he's not going to do something that asinine because the $1 Million Man only has $1 Million ideas. That's not $1 Million idea. Take note, Hogan.
That's exactly it. And Hogan, I mean, maybe if you stop doing your stupid little poses like this, maybe you'll actually get some fucking brain to not sign your plate. How about that?
Yeah. Ridiculous. Well, let me tell you something, Jack. I'm going to sign belts and I'm going to ruin the plating, brother.
It's the history behind this belt. It's the ring. It's not even a replica. It's the actual belt that he held in the ring and just ruined it. I hate. The more you talk about it, the more I get pissed off at it.
Nonetheless, it is still absolutely gorgeous. As soon as that picture popped up there, I was just
gorgeous.
Oh.
It's very beautiful.
even the detail back then, you can see on the U.S. flag the little like the for the lines. You can see the detail there. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
though. It's crazy.
Just take note the amount of red that is on that U.S. flag.
Now, a fun point, though, guys, and I've been brought this to my attention here, is that I'm just looking at mine here just to make sure that it is, okay, I guess that is the Italian flag. It's actually wrong in this picture as well.
Oh, yeah.
On the real thing. And I guess when they made the replica, they didn't fucking correct it. But just so you guys know, I guess on the ring used, they had the screwed up Italian flag as well.
At least it's ring accurate. So
it's ring accurate. Just for sure.
Yeah,
you can see a more detailed picture there. This is obviously made by Dan McMahon, but it's a nice detailed picture. You can see the design. One thing I got to say about this belt that I don't like is the shape of the main plate. I mean, I just don't like it's just such a odd shape to me. If it was a bit wider, not as like vertical, I think I would like it a bit more, but it just seems uncomfortable to wear around the waist. Like I feel like it would stab into your abdomen if you like bend a little. It just seems a little weird to me. Leather looks beautiful, of course. The clamshell tooling going all the way around. Plates, I mean, wonderful. I love the flags, love the columns, floral. I like the shade of blue on the globe. I know some people, some belts they have a weird shade of blue. I think this is the perfect shade of blue. Not too light, not too dark. I think it's great.
I think the only thing is, and I mean, with the cut on the leather at the top, I think it was too much leather. I mean, I think that and no discredit to you, Dan McMahon. I mean, you are definitely awesome. I mean, you're a big supporter of licensed belts. I mean, I get it, with everything, but with respect to this cut of leather, I think that maybe, and maybe I'm just seeing it differently, is that the main plate is too small for the cut of leather that's going around here. I do like the clamshell tooling. I like everything there. I like the dual plating. I do, but maybe just that's the only thing. I think it could have been a little bit more on the vertical side. But I mean, maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe I
like
am
a tighter cut or like going up more.
Well, just more up. Because I mean, look at the top. Like you see the top of that leather.
Yeah.
So. I mean, if I'm really pointing something there, that's the only thing I would say.
Well, to me, it kind of makes sense since it's the top of the WWF logo, so it's flat there anyways. But I would appreciate more. To me, I would like a tighter cut. I do like tighter cuts on most leather, on most belts, especially going around the main plate. It just seems like I know it's meant to so you can see the clamshell tooling, but like. On some of the belts I have, or even some ring used belts, the clamshell tooling still there. It's just a bit tighter, so it's not shown as much. But I think it's not bad.
Well, and also his WWF logo seems a little off kiltered a little bit. I don't know. When I was looking at that last picture that you had there at the top of the main plate, it looks a little bit to the right. It doesn't look very centered, but anyways, maybe it is the angle of the picture that you're taking it. That's me really being picky here. I think still a good belt.
Maybe if it was the WW logo, it would be off centered. But I think since it has the F going out, maybe that's why.
Maybe
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Casey?
So I don't even know how I noticed this. Did Dan make both of these? This one and the one from the next set of photos?
Oh, the one with
I believe so, yeah.
I believe he did.
All right, so take a look. Peep that Australian flag right there, and then go back to the other one.
Sure. Oh, yeah, it's different.
White paint.
That's point taken. Yeah, there you go.
I prefer the white paint.
I prefer it too. I don't like that.
The white paint.
Exactly. Yeah.
My screen is the more accurate.
Now, did they use the red paint though on the actual Hogan belt?
I think they did.
They did.
Yeah.
You can see right, but yeah, okay. Obviously, the person who painted this doesn't.
On the Fig Zinc replica, I'm looking at mine. They did use the red.
Obviously, the person who painted the real belt didn't know much about flags, but.
Good job, Reggie.
Yeah, very nice, bud.
Yeah, no, I definitely prefer the. Did he fix the Italian flag?
He might have actually. I think he did. He did because look at he did. He fixed the Italian flag. He noticed that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. This version, of course, is I believe one that he sold since it doesn't have the WWF logo. But it's just a crown, which is still nice. But you can see the detail there on the tooling going. I love the tooling going on the gold tip, leading for the toolbox, and then it goes just tight around the tip. I love that tooling. It looks like a tighter cut leather cut on this version.
It is. It definitely
I
is.
love that leather cut. That's exactly what I was wanting.
That's what it
It
should be.
fits the plates a lot better.
And then the plates don't look as weird. The main plate, for me at least, it doesn't look so
It
off.
looks like it
It's a lot
fits
better.
more flush within the cut of the strap. Like it
Yeah.
actually sits comfortably in there, and it's not just, I don't know. It looked too short on the last one.
The writing is definitely. I think the writing is different on the main plate here than it is on his other version. Yeah, it definitely is. It seems
It's a lot sharper.
sharper. Yeah.
Yeah, this version is definitely way better, in my opinion. I know it's missing the WWF, and the paint isn't accurate, but it's the correct flags, you know?
It's the correct. I just don't like the crown. Obviously, I'm a WWF guy, but beggars can't be choosers. The cut is way better on this belt.
Oh, yeah. Makes a huge difference.
Way better. Beautiful.
And then I found a picture when he was making it. Oh, no, this is a different one. But I just want to mention the gold tip, how it has the writing on there. I think that's so cool. I don't know. Do you guys know what it says on there? I'm not exactly.
Just says Andre the Giant, to my knowledge.
I think I agree with that. I think that's exactly what it says. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's something different, please drop it in the comments, please.
I can't tell what's on the side there, because on either side of Andre the Giant, there are two different designs. I can't tell what they are.
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring it up. I just thought it was so cool. Yeah, the process. If you guys know, that's how it looks if it was all nickel, similar to the. But let's go straight into replicas. We're talking about the Figures Inc. Of course, Rob does own this one, and Casey, I believe you did own this before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, did past tense.
If you want to talk about
what's going on with that,
yeah, if you want to talk about it.
Oh man, this replica, I'm telling you, that was a holy grail. That was one that wasn't easy to get my hands on, and I guarantee you, if you're out there in the market for one of these, you're going to find it saturated with bootlegs. They're everywhere, but if you're actually looking for one of these Figures Inc. ones, you're in for one hell of a hunt, because it took me about 10 years to find one, and I don't even know how long it took you, Rob, but I'm sure it wasn't quick.
Well, I mean, so I got to tell you, I mean, this belt actually, I didn't think I would be able to get this belt. I was kind of like you, Casey, where, it was kind of low on my list because of the rarity of it. So I didn't really think that I was going to be able to get it. And I got to be honest, the Andre 87 was more of a holy grail for me, just personally. Obviously, it's always nice to have the Hogan 86, paired with the Andre 87. Now, I came across this belt because of a fellow Belt Addicts Anonymous Hall of Fame inductee, Kolfan93, who ended up having this title along with the WWF dual-plated classic tag. And he was trying to sell this belt for the longest time. And I was only looking at actually buying his WWF dual-plated classic tag, but he wouldn't sell his tag unless he sold the Hogan 86 together. Kolfan93 is definitely a good guy. Don't get me wrong, but it's classic Colin. But anyways, he got me into it. But he had this belt. Now, he actually had two versions of this belt. He had the standard version, the 2mm, that he sold to another guy. I know who it was. I won't mention his name. But then he also had this version. Now, this version's a really rare version because, as you can see from the COA, this is an ultra deluxe Hogan 86 replica belt, and it's number 12 out of 500, which tells you exactly how flippin' rare this belt is. I love this belt, and I mean, it screams world title. It's a belt-gasm. I'm literally, and I mean, the former co-host of the Over the Shoulder podcast, Mike Morano, said that I pretty much jerk off to my belts. Maybe I do with this belt. This belt is just absolutely incredible. But if I were to show off this belt, and I actually have it here, okay, so I'm actually going to show this off here. First off,
show it.
First off, this is the COA. Now, this, as Casey and I were talking, these are absolutely amazing to have. To buy deluxe replicas without this, I mean, fine, but I would rather have this belt with the.
Whoa.
This just adds like just the cherry on top. But now this belt is flipping heavy here. Now it's absolutely incredible here. So this is just an absolutely incredible belt. Now look at the thickness on the plates. Look at the thickness on that plate. It's absolutely incredible here.
4 millimeter, correct?
It's 4 millimeter, and it's just flipping floppy here. It is floppy, and it just goes all the way across. It's an absolute beauty of a belt here. It goes all the way across, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It was like the day it was made, guys. Like it was. That tip is absolutely incredible, and of course, standard here. I mean, the backing. Here's the back. Back,
so it's a sticker too.
It's got the
smooth.
It's got the sticker. This is I think it's a 2005 Figures Inc. belt.
There's not even a single crease on it. Oh my god!
Floppy that is. It is one of the top tier belts in my collection.
Oh.
It definitely raises my collection from here all the way up to here. And I mean, as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Figures Inc. belt collector. I do have Figures Inc. Right here. I'm trying to point here, there. I absolutely love this belt. So, I mean, when Casey says that it's his holy grail, it is a holy grail. It's a belt that, I mean, you will be looking for a long time, because if you're on eBay, hands down, if you think you found one, it probably is a bootleg. It probably is. It's probably one of those bootlegs. Now, I've seen other makers make this belt, like American made, like a Corey King that Colin has. It looks actually pretty good. I'm a Figs Inc. belt collector. I mean, I do like this. Now, for this belt, it didn't take that long for me to find this belt, because I actually wasn't really looking for this belt. So I ended up having the Andre 87 I bought in October of 2020, and I bought it really early in the month, and then Colin ended up getting that WWF dual tag, and I wanted that tag, but he didn't want to sell his dual tag without this belt. So then about 3 weeks after it, I ended up giving it to him. Now, if you want to know how much this belt,
yes, please.
How much this belt I paid for, $1,200 USD for this belt. $1,200 USD for this belt.
And how much did you pay for your Andre 87?
I think I paid about $1,300 USD for that belt too. So that was a really expensive month for me. But that was, I got to tell you guys, though, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, okay, fine. I spent it on that. Okay, I did. But to tell you the truth, October 2020 was the month that my collection ended up turning in order to become a really rare belt collection. I was rolling, I guess, with the big boys at that point. I could not believe it, because, I mean, I had Figures Inc. belts. I mean, I do. And I mean, I'll collect other Figures Inc. belts. But I mean, these two belts, fine. I paid the price. It's going to be tough to sell them, because I don't think I would, to sell them. I mean, I've told Max, I've told Casey, I want to be buried with that belt if I can. It'll probably take up the whole coffin. But, I mean, you pay for what you get. Mm-hmm. You definitely pay for what you get. Did I overpay? Maybe I did. I wanted it so badly that I would have paid. Doesn't matter to me. So
don't ever sell it.
I won't. I won't. But you agree, Casey, though, that is a top rare belt, that one. With the COA, with the 12 out of 500, I mean, I don't think I've ever come across 4 millimeter Ultra Deluxe Hogan 86 Figs Inc. replica. I mean, not many. Not many.
I have seen one more in the entire world. I've seen one more, and it did not have a COA.
No. And to have the COA, guys, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, puts the cherry on top. That definitely does. And I mean, yeah, could we sell it for the top dollars? And like I said, go find another one. Go try to find another one, because I don't think I can. I don't think I can go try to find another one. I was very surprised that Colin was selling that belt. I really was. Because, I mean, that's just a rare belt. And, I mean, he sold an Andre 87, too. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Colin is a great belt collector. He's a pioneer in this hobby. But, I mean, I've never seen one of these. I never have. I mean, 4mm? Usually 2mm standard replica. What do you, like, seriously, yours was, Casey. Yours was 2mm.
Yeah, sure was. 2mm
think,
standard replica.
Yeah, and I think Jamie Gilbert, another fellow admin of Belt Addicts Anonymous, Belt Addicts Anonymous Hall of Fame as well. I think he doesn't even he's got deluxes of other belts. And by the way, we're going to be doing a special episode this week on Belt Addicts Anonymous to discuss the deluxe replica line. But I don't even think he has this version as a deluxe. He's got I believe he's got light heavyweight and European, but
I think he may have the deluxe version of the Hogan 86. Now, I might be wrong on that, but something's telling me that I remember seeing that in his collection at some point.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I mean, I post this on Belt Addicts Anonymous. I like to post these belts, and I think one guy actually said that you're the only other guy that I've seen that has this, but he didn't put out his COA. You're right. He didn't say if he had his COA on it. To have the COA, guys, I mean, it's something that I think that is required when you're having these deluxe replica belts. I mean, to sell them at a price point that you have. So, but
it's good that you mentioned that, because that's something I was thinking about earlier today. I was on the hunt for another deluxe belt. I've got one right now that has a COA. That should just be kind of like a law of the jungle kind of thing. If you're ever putting your belts up for sale, especially be it a deluxe, ultra deluxe, something rare like that, if you don't have that COA to go with it, that makes it worth that high price point. If you're missing that COA or that velvet bag, which the bag's not that big of a deal, but without that COA, there ain't no reason that you should be charging no $1,000 US for a deluxe 2mm deluxe replica without a COA, because I've seen it on eBay right now. There's an oval intercontinental, there's an undisputed version 2, and I believe there was a spinner, and they're all over $400, and not a single one has a COA. And I'm like, why in the hell would I pay a fucking top dollar price for a belt that doesn't even have a COA?
Yeah. Does it say that it's a deluxe on the back on the patch, or no?
So it doesn't directly say that it is a deluxe, but if you're familiar with the
straps,
the back of the straps and all the patch info from Figures Inc., it does have an R out in the serial. Is it the serial number or the item number?
I believe it's a serial. I think you're right. I think it's a serial.
But yeah, there'll be an R there in the serial number, and that's how you know.
But if you're like someone like me who doesn't know about this stuff, it would be kind of easy to fool, just saying like, oh, it's deluxe, and it's not. Like you guys are saying, like, if someone doesn't know about this stuff, like I didn't even know about that, it could be easy to fool.
There's several, all kinds of different things actually that can tell a deluxe apart from a standard. Ultra deluxe and regular deluxe, I mean, they had the same exact straps. They were both the real leather, but like we saw the back of Rob's earlier, it's that smooth texture on the back versus your standard, which had that kind of
rough.
It just looks like a pebble texture.
Yeah.
And the snap boxes, that's another thing. The snap boxes are just absolute smooth leather, just silk sheen, and then you've got that rough textured pattern on your standard one. So that's another big thing to look for.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I also have the classic WWE SmackDown tag, the deluxe. It is a deluxe, but I mean, if I were to sell it, I wouldn't be selling it at a high price point because I don't have the COA with it. I don't. I mean, we'll probably sell it at a standard version of what the standard replica is worth because, I mean, I can't prove it to somebody with respect to that. This belt, however, this Hogan, yeah, I'd sell it at a high price point. Got the COA. You pay for the COA. That's what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, it screams beltgasm, guys. I love it. I absolutely do.
For someone watching this who wants to get a Figures Inc. Hogan 86, what would you recommend? Like, where would they start looking?
Well, I mean, I can say that, Belt Addicts Anonymous is a group that, that was created in the intention to bring young belt collectors in a nurturing environment to try to attain their belt collecting goals. You can message one of the admins on Belt Addicts Anonymous, myself, Max, KC, or any of the other ones that are on there, and we can definitely help you, provide you in the right way. As far as going with eBay, be very careful, guys. I don't know if I would suggest that. I wouldn't. I mean, I bought this off of another guy. I did. But, I mean, it's rare that you would find them on there, especially a Figs Inc. You got to be very careful. I mean, but again, there could be other sources that I'm not familiar with. But, I mean, Belt Addicts Anonymous is definitely a group that we created to help other belt collectors attain their goals. So, I mean, Casey, if you want to add, you've been in this hobby a lot longer than I have.
If you're looking for that Hogan 86, I mean, really, eBay's probably where most people are going to go because it's a discontinued belt. I mean, they haven't been produced since, 2010, I believe was the cutoff, or maybe 2011. But, no, like you said, eBay, you've got to be careful because that place is so saturated with bootlegs. It's insane. If you don't know what you're doing, they're horrible. It's like sheet metal. But if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know your research, if you don't have all the facts that you need to have in order to get an officially licensed Figures Inc. Hogan 86, you don't need to be trekking into eBay by yourself. Like, for real, you need to get a hold of somebody over at Belt Addicts Anonymous and let us guide you, because you're going to be thinking you're getting something like what Rob's showing off here, and you're winding up with a piece of tinfoil.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is too, finding a belt that is in good shape is really, really tough because I mean, this is a 16-year-old belt. Now, as we were talking in one of the other prior episodes on the European Championship, we were talking about the condition of plates. Now, I get it. I do have to clean this belt. It is a fingerprint magnet, guys. It is. But let's talk about the plates with respect to the condition of them. Do you see any scratches, major scratches on these plates?
No, not at all. No, this is minty fresh.
It's minty fresh, guys. And like I said, we at Belt Addicts Anonymous are here to help you. We don't want you to end up with a stupid piece of shit tinfoil, whatever the hell those are. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I'm better at taking crap out of the toilet and having that as my belt kind of thing. We're not going to be allowing you to go into that is the thing. So we're here to help. We definitely are. We want you to have belts like this. We want you to be able to purchase this belt with confidence, knowing that this is the belt that you're going to be getting, not some piece of crap. So Belt Addicts Anonymous, that's why we're here. We're here to help.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, if you don't want to go for Figures Inc. and you're more for maybe like high-end bootlegs, because there are a lot of garbage bootlegs, don't get me wrong. One of them that I want to shout out right now, because it just pisses me off that a lot of people have been getting scammed by them recently. Not that they don't receive a belt, but they receive a garbage belt, and that is United Bros belt or something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Holy every time someone posts in search of or looking for this horrible maker has like a bunch of people. I think he pays them to message them saying like, "Oh yeah, United Bros can make this belt." They are horrible. Just I'm a person who's open for bootlegs. I mean, I have a few bootlegs, but they're more high-end bootlegs. This maker is absolute garbage. Yesterday someone was looking for a Figures Inc. belt. I believe it was like a Andre 87. Yeah. And then someone commented, one of their people commented, "Oh yeah, United Bros can make it." And he replied, "No, just looking for Figures Inc." He's like, "Oh, it'll be the same quality." And it's just stay away from those makers. But
what in the makers. Fuck?
Yeah.
I want to know. And okay, you can put me on the record for this. I'm going to go on blast. This is a shoot right now. Who in the fuck puts any Andre 87 reproduction over the Figures Inc. replica? Mm-hmm. If you do that, you need. Oh my god, I can't even say what needs to happen to you because it'll get you guys kicked off of your channel here. But no, just you can take a stern your foot up your own ass and shut the hell up, because there is no better Andre 87 than the Figures Inc. Rob can stand by it. I know Max knows it. The whole world knows it. So whoever said that, if you are watching this, go check yourself, because you're wrong.
Just to show you guys how horrible quality their
I'm
belts
sorry
are.
for the outburst.
Yeah, no. Fully. This just pissed me off so much yesterday when I saw that, and it was a new person who was new to the hobby, and it's just ridiculous how many people they've like gotten by saying, "Oh, same quality as Figures Inc." or good quality. Here's one of their belts. They're AEW. Just what you like, ridiculous. Like, oh my god.
I'm better off. I'm better off. I'm better off taking the shit, bud. Seriously.
I'd rather draw it on cardboard and paper, and it would be better than this piece of shit.
Holy Christ. And like, we will not allow, by the way, guys, in Belt Axe Anonymous, and this goes out to our universe, if you ever have one of these sorry motherfuckers message you, and let's say they private message you, because I get a lot of messages from these belt makers. United Brothers belts can kiss my ass. They're a piece of shit. I mean, seriously. And they make crap like that. You think you're going to be going over the Figures Inc. versions? We will boot them and ban them for life from Belt Axe Anonymous. So,
yeah, that's one thing. That's a main reason that belt makers aren't and bootlegs aren't allowed in our group, because sure, there are some good ones. Trust me, I have some pretty decent ones, but there's also a lot of horrible makers. And once you allow some bootlegs, it opens the door to a bunch of shit like the United Bros, that crap. So we don't want any of that. We don't want anyone people being fooled into great quality, Figures in quality, stack the best. No. If you want something made properly, you can private message me. I can recommend you to some trusted makers, but on Belt Addicts Anonymous, you're not going to get scammed. You're going to find a Figures Inc. belt. You know what you're getting. You're not going to get a piece of shit like that. But yeah, sorry about that rant. I just had to. It just pissed me off so much. I had to bring it up.
That fucking AEW belt in that picture you were showing. You know what that looks like? Have you seen on eBay? There's a guy that he makes these little. I guess they're
the toy belts.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
Those are better. Those look better. I feel like the official toy AEW looks better than that. The little cardboard ones look better than that. It's just
oh man, God, that looks like ass.
But there are some.
I know a lot of badass that looks better than that.
Oh wow!
Going to the nicer ones. One of them, now the maker, I know Rob isn't too fond of him, but I did have to bring it up. ORM, he does make a pretty decent Hogan 86. You can see there it is. It's nice. I mean, Rob, I know you hate him with a passion, and once I stop talking, I guarantee you'll go on a little bit of a rant, which go ahead.
But no, I'm just saying. Hopefully, guys. I mean, yeah, he does make a nice belt. How long do you guys want to wait for it? And you guys want to also have poor ass customer service as well that's attached to it. Give me a break. If you're going to wait as long as that, go with Classic Shields, and we'll be definitely shouting out to them. But I mean, fine, okay, the belt looks good. Okay, ORM is not a bad guy with respect to his belt making. His customer service skills suck ass. They do. If you want to go take a look at the honest review, you can check out Max's other review that he did on the U.S. title for this. Does it look okay? It does. It does look better than what United Brothers can put out. I mean, we'll give you that.
Not saying much, but yeah.
Not saying much, but I mean, if
Hot dog shit looks better than what they put out. I'm just saying.
It does. If Max's U.S. belt though took about a year, just imagine how long this will take, and then you'll also get non-responsive customer service. So
yeah,
go for it.
If you guys want a more in-depth story of how I ordered this belt, you can guys check out that video. But I'll give you guys a quick overview, in case you're not sure if you know about the story. But basically, I did order this belt. I finally received it. I never thought I would. I always liked the design of the Classic US, but I never liked the shop replica 2mm piece of shit. The worst Oh, sorry, the worst replica on shop. Like,
Fine.
it is horrible. I had it once. It feels like paper. It doesn't even feel like 2 millimeter. It feels like 1 millimeter. It's horrendous. So I didn't never wanted that in my collection, but I did want this belt in my collection. So I went out looking to see some makers, and this is when I was relatively new to the hobby. Um, if I was buying it now, I'd definitely go to different makers like Nawaz or Muhammad Lukman. He made the belt addict anonymous belt, or even Classic Shields. So I did order from ORM because I saw some pictures. It looked beautiful. 650 USD. Paid $200 down. He told me 4 months. I was like, okay, great. I believed him because I was new and I didn't know. So I was like, all right, 4 months. Sounds good. I should have it in the new year. Perfect. I did not receive this belt until about 2 weeks ago, beginning September, which is ridiculous. Close to a year waiting for this belt. Now I'm okay with waiting for belts if you're gonna be honest with me. I mean, I just ordered a Classic Shields Winged Eagle, and I know I'm gonna be waiting close to a year. But they told me minimum 8 months, and I was like, it's fine. I know what I'm getting into. ORM told me 3 to 4 months. Took a year, and his updates or lack of updates. Whenever I would message him, he would always say, "In process, bro. Done soon. In process, done soon." For the last 9 months, he said it's in final leather process. Like, are you serious? How long does it take to do a leather, like a strap? I understand it's handmade. Like in 9 months, you can raise a cow, kill it, and get your own leather by then. It's just ridiculous. Like leather process for 9 months just makes no sense. I got sick of it. I asked for a refund. That's when I finally got my belt 2 weeks later.
Yeah, but we ended up calling out his ass on a
Yep.
few of the Over the Shoulder podcast episodes, calling his ass a scammer. And then Brothers of the Belt, I believe, removed his sorry ass from the group. So ORM, let's just be clear here, ORM. We're not shouting out to you, you dirty motherfucker. We are not doing that here. I don't give a shit what you do with your customers. All we're trying to do is we're just trying to show what type of belt that you have here. I don't want any business being driven by this podcast to your sorry ass. Let's move on.
Be gone, thought. Be gone.
All right, let's go to an actual reputable maker who makes wonderfully quality, the best maker
True.
in the hobby. Like,
No doubt.
I know everyone can say I'm the best, or I'm like to say he's the best. No. Here's the truth: Classic Shields, by so far, definitely the best belt maker. Classic Shields is the best. If you haven't seen their work, they are just incredible. Now they have their HD Hogan 86. Now shout out to Steven Hammer. I did get his picture from his YouTube channel, and you can just see there it is just
Wow.
a huge belt. Like,
Wow.
quality. Look at the quality. And
Wow.
you see the paint there, of course, done correctly on the Italy flag, and I'll see on the Australian flag. Just amazing, and better high quality picture there. You can see how detailed it is. The work speaks for itself, and yes, you are going to be waiting close to a year, probably like between 6 months to a year, but you're going to get this belt, and they're going to be honest. They actually give you updates. They'll tell you from the beginning, you know what, it'll take this long, and it's fine. If you want to get a beautiful belt like this, if you don't want to search for the Figures Inc. belt like this, close to, I believe, $1,000. So, what do you guys think about the quality?
I mean, I 100% agree with you. They're the best maker they are. I mean, I'm not I don't have any boots in my collection. I don't have any bootlegs, but if I was to have a bootleg, and I was telling Eddie Williams on the last episode when we covered the Crumb Rind that I would get from Classic Shields. I would if I was going that route. As far as what they've done, I think it's a beauty. I really do. I think it is a really nice belt. And I mean, and like you said, Max, people are going to be they're going to know they're going to get their belt, and they're going to be honest with them. That's the big thing about customer service. So, I mean, if people don't want to go with the licensed fixing belt, let's say they can't find it because it is so rare, you could go with the Classic Shields, and I mean, you'll have a great belt. you definitely will. I do like, I mean, if I were to talk about details about this belt, the etching is amazing. It definitely is. I like that they fixed the Italian flag. I like the detail on the main plate. The curve is absolutely incredible on that bad boy. It absolutely is. The clamshell tooling, absolutely amazing. I can see here that they've even got the it's not on mine, I guess, is that I believe they put the WWF logo on the panel next to
On the leather,
next to the stitch
No,
box, and they don't have it on the big thing.
I don't believe it's. Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't believe I'm not sure if it's accurate or not. But I do know they offer different custom leathers. Like when I ordered, it was almost like a menu. It was like ordering food. They were like, okay, which plates do you want? Which sidebars do you want for my winged eagle? There's thick sidebars, short sidebars, thin sidebars, and they're like, okay, what leather cut do you want? I was like, A, B, C, or D. They're like, okay, do you want a thin cut? Do you want it going round? Do you want it like this? Do you want it like that? Do you want the WWF here? Do you want a bunch of options? So it might be a custom WWF there.
It could be. It could be a custom. Because I mean, they don't have that on the Figs Inc. replica. They've got it on the Andre 87 Figs Inc. replica. As far as as far as the cut, it is a nice tight cut on the main plate. I really do like that. I also like, I like the dual plating that they've got here. Flags are pretty dang good. And as we were talking about earlier here, that Australian flag has got the white. It appears it's got the white, not the red. That's on the Figures Inc. Replica belt on mine. It's a beauty. It absolutely is a beauty. I really do like it. Casey, what do you think?
So that was the first thing I noticed as well, with the accuracy of the Australian flag having the white stars. I'm not a big fan of boots at all. I don't endorse them. I don't support them by any means. But looking at the picture, I can't deny it is what it is. It is a beautifully done belt. It looks fantastic. The only thing that I could even slightly critique, and this may just be from the angle of the picture, but the words under the flags aren't really popping out at me too well. But I mean, who the hell cares about that? Everything else looks amazing. So I mean, kudos to him. If you choose to go the non-official route, I'd recommend going that route. But yeah.
Now, one thing about the letters, this is a year old, I believe, 2-year-old picture. And since then, they have improved even more. Their quality is even better. If you see some of their recent winged eagles, they're just ridiculous. The detail's crazy. And letters like that, like on the Undisputed version 2, the little crest, the McMahon crest, you can read every single little letter, even with a paint. So their quality is always constantly improving. And for the people that don't know, the reason for their long time frames is the amount of orders they have is just ridiculous. It is in the thousands every single month. Now I talked to Eddie about this, Eddie Williams. He is pretty close to the belt maker, to them, and he talked to them. And from what he's heard, it is in the hundreds and thousands every month in orders, which is just crazy about how. And they only have about 4 to 5 people on their team, just a bunch of brothers. They don't trust anyone else, just to keep the quality pristine, which is respectable. So it makes sense why they take that long.
Yeah, and I mean, and we put it out here, guys. I mean, fine, if Figures Inc. belt is not the way you can get it here, and I pose this to everyone here, okay? Would you rather pay for a piece of shit belt with United Brothers and get the belt like instant fast, or pay a little bit more money and wait longer and get a really nice belt? We leave it up to you guys. But as you can see here, the quality, it's magnifique.
Exactly. Now, just to close off the episode, of course, we have to shout out to a great YouTube channel, Kolfan93. Casey, of course, has a YouTube channel. Do you want to talk a little bit about your videos, what you post on there?
So, I mean, I've got a pretty wide variety of content. I generally cater more to the pro wrestling scene. I am a vlogger. I do day in the life of videos when we go to live events in the area. Huge fan of Kane. I got Kane mask videos all over the page, replica belt videos. I'm starting to get some of my music up there. So, I mean, just all kinds of different stuff. There's something for everybody over there. I try to keep it kind of diverse.
Yeah, and a fun fact, guys, I started belt collecting because of KLFan93. Shout out to you, Casey, because of Casey's YouTube page. And then Casey and I joined forces to create Belt Addicts Anonymous back in March. So I've been a fan of Casey, well, since 2017, since I started belt collecting. He's helped me out a lot. So definitely go check out his page. He's a hell of a belt collector. He does some great videos, absolutely. The day in the life of vlogs, the unboxings, and just, great wrestling content. He's got a huge following at KLFan93, so definitely go check it out.
The videos are great. Even those unboxings, they were so entertaining. I love them. Yeah. I think we should close off the episode the only way we know how to.
No, absolutely.
Grabbing a belt and putting it on.
Just grab a belt, put it over your shoulder, and
Now the belt that I have over my shoulder is, of course, my Blue Universal Restoned, and that is because next week, me and Rob and possibly a co-host, we'll have to see. We'll go over the WWE Network logo titles. That includes the WWE Championship from 2014 all the way right now, the Red Universal, the Blue Universal, and possibly even the United Kingdom Championship, since it follows a similar design. Of course, we'll go over the replicas, some horrible boots, of course, and yeah. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.